I'd like to call to order the Clarkston Independence District Library Board of Trustees meeting for April 16, 2018 at 6:02. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Julie, please call the roll.
Dan Gaffney. Here. Michelle Ginn. Here. Dan Green absent. Absent. Allison McFadden-Kiesling.
Here.
Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Ann Rose.
Here.
And Meredith here.
I'll accept a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Call to the public. Hello, Julie.
Good evening. Julie Sislowitz on behalf of the Friends of the Library. Our spring book sale is coming up next week, April 25th through 28th. So that's Wednesday through Saturday with preview night for members of Friends on Tuesday from 6 to 8. We'll be starting to set up on Friday, and on Sunday we're going to start posting our brand new purple book sale signs around the community, so do watch for those. We have a new iPad and chip reader that we're going to be able to use to accept electronic payments through PayPal. And we're going to be experimenting with those at the book sale when it's not too busy as we learn how to do that. Once again, Clarkston Community Schools is going to be offering $20 per teacher to purchase books for classroom use. So they send out a flyer and they advertise it, I think, through announcements, etc. We've been getting every year, every sale, we get a better turnout of teachers. So it's a really good collaborative there. And at the end of the book sale on Saturday afternoon, Impact Weekend volunteers are going to be helping to tear down. So that's really nice.
That's great.
Those are heavy. That's a heavy load. And finally, one of our brand new board members that we were so excited about getting has resigned because she's decided to move to Florida. She just bought a condo. So.
This year would do that.
Oh, no. Yeah, right? So that's it.
Thank you very much. The call to the public is ended at 6:05. The consent agenda has 7 items tonight. I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. No one wants to deal with any individual item. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Library statistics.
You have the statistical report in front of you. Some of the interesting things that I would talk about during the statistical part are being discussed at a later point, and I don't want to spoil the fun. So, so if you have any questions about the statistics?
All right. Then let's move on to the library director report.
All right, I've got a lot to tell you tonight. It's been a busy month. On Friday, March 30th, while the library was closed for Good Friday, we had 4 contractors working on projects in the public areas of the building. TriStar Fire Prevention Services replaced 40 feet of pipe of the fire suppression system. Springer Mechanical completed the installation of an independent cooling unit for the adult computer lab. And Allied Building Services and Clarkston Glass installed windows in the computer lab. These are all projects that have been in the works for some time, and we were glad that they could be finished with minimal disruption to library service. Next item, as reported last month, the library's audit fieldwork took place in late March. We anticipate the library's 2017 audit report will be on the May library board meeting. Next item, the library board treasurer and library director have been working on a project to distribute the library's funds so that the money is all properly insured. At last month's meeting, the board approved an opening of 2 Fifth Third bank accounts. The paperwork has been completed and those accounts are up and running. I'm glad to cross that up to my to-do list. I know you are too.
Yes, I am.
Next item in project updates. The library's lead custodian and myself have been working with our account manager at Allied Building Services to streamline our facility services. We currently create a list every 4 to 6 weeks, and the technician comes out to the library to complete the work. The account manager is working on a program that would identify a specific list of tasks that need to be done regularly, as in monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, and annually, that would automatically pop up on the technician's work order in addition to the list we create. This is a new program for Allied, and we are one of the customers they hope to use as a pilot for this program. This is giving us a chance to do some additional price comparison work and determine which tasks are a better deal if we bid them out to task-specific businesses as well. So things like carpet cleaning and window cleaning. And which might be less expensive done by a general contractor, such as water softener maintenance. In addition, we're looking into a rug and runner rental and cleaning service for the lobby to see if this would be a cost-effective way to clean these rugs more efficiently and prolong the life of the library's carpet. So Arlene is taking the lead on most of this, but I'm kind of backing her up and being a part of it because some of these things are not budgeted. She's learning to take over some of those pieces of budget planning, so we're working together on this.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's great.
That was one of the things we did at the beginning of this year, is make her the lead custodian, and she's really taking that to heart. A lot of
That's
planning
good.
for work. Okay, next item. As written in the 2018 budget, we will begin working with Convergent Technology Partners on developing an RFP for a new phone system. We will start by gathering input on the features that we need and mapping out all of the phones that will be needed throughout the building. In addition, we will investigate whether the PA system we use to make announcements throughout the building will be part of this system as it is now or something separate. We're currently developing a timeline that would ensure this project is completed by the end of the year. So this is a long overdue. Yes. Long overdue project. Yes. Well, last year we discovered how expensive it was, and with the parking lot realized that it was not going to fit into 2017. So 2018 it is. It's all written in. Next item, in recent weeks, I've had conversations with the Township Building Department, the teachers at the high school's construction trades classes, and a concrete contractor regarding the outbuilding we would like to place on the west side of the property for storage of items that do not need to be kept inside the climate control building. As is the case with some projects, this one seemed to get stuck as we were having trouble determining the regulations governing what was allowed. However, now the parameters have been clarified, which has allowed us to determine possible dimensions and talk to the concrete contractor regarding an appropriate foundation. So this project is finally moving forward. One of the pieces that's a little bit unique about this project, first of all, this is the one where the students in the construction trades class will be building this for us. We're bringing in a professional concrete contractor, obviously, to pour the foundation, but the teachers would like for their class to be able to observe that work being done. So one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was find a concrete contractor who was willing to allow a class, first of all, to pick a time when the students could come, and then be willing to have a whole crew of students standing there watching their teaching work. Yeah, so there's a little bit of choreography involved, and I would like to make this happen for the construction trade. So that does slow down this whole process of getting this plan. We could have just, bid it out, found somebody to do this, but we want to do this way. Next item, the Midwest Collaborative for Library Services, MCLS, is the organization that provided our library with the grant for Harwood training that spurred the Community Conversations project that we've been working on. Because we have used this training in a unique way in regards to the Depot Park Conversations and the city's goal-setting meeting, we were invited by MCLS to tell our story to the larger library community. Over the course of 2 grant cycles, nearly 70 libraries received this training, but only 4 were asked to share what they've done. MCLS sent a videographer to our library to interview the 2 people that coordinated this collaboration, which would be myself and City Councilman Eric Haven. In addition, I've been invited to be on the community conversation panel at a statewide community engagement summit in East Lansing in September. So
Well, there we go. That's exactly what we wanted to have ahead of
The
time.
timing is good, yes. Almost like I planned it that way. No, we're really excited about this. It's been a unique way that this whole project has unfolded, and I'm really excited to share it with other libraries what we did, because it has been a lot of fun too. So. Okay, collaborations. I know this is longer than it usually is. I apologize. There's a lot going on. Just a quick reminder about Spring Community Impact Weekend that takes place April 28th and 29th. Our project is the book sale, but anyone interested in volunteering can sign up for Impact Weekend other projects at www.impact-weekend.org. Next collaboration, during the month of April, Clarkson Area Youth Assistance participates in a national campaign to raise awareness about child abuse and neglect by partnering with local businesses and organizations, including the library, to place pinwheel gardens around town. The blue pinwheel is used as a national symbol for what childhood should be, which is carefree and filled with joy. Similar to last year, we have a garden of blue pinwheels in the flower beds near the library's entrance with simple signage explaining the campaign. So just so that people know that those are there for a purpose, although they are nice and bright and cheery, we love them. But they are to raise awareness about a serious situation. I'm going to skip this next item because this is something that will be shared, but I'm going to do my last couple things and then I'll have Alexa talk about it. Our library has been part of the Oakland County Historical Resources, OCHR, since its creation in the 1990s. This organization brings libraries, historical societies, and museums together to preserve primary source historical materials through digitization. Pooling funds to create a shared server and database, this technological collaboration saves each organization from needing to manage this service independently. To this end, the Clarkston Independence District Library houses the Clarkston News and other community-specific newspapers all the way back to the 1800s, then links them to our website for easy access. In addition, we're currently working on uploading Clarkston High School yearbooks back to 1923. Recently, OCHR joined the Digital Public Library of America, DPLA, a network that brings these primary source resources together on an even grander scale from all over the country, including major museums and universities. The timing of this connection aligns nicely as Oakland County begins conversations about celebrating its 200th anniversary in the year 2020. So all these things are kind of coming together at the same time, so I thought you'd be interested in hearing about that project. Next item, on Thursday, April 19th, Clarkston for Life, the community-wide well-being initiative that has included the library on its steering committee, will be at the Body, Mind, Green Expo at Clarkston High School from 4 to 7. And then Julie also already talked about the book sales. So those are my items, but the one that I skipped over was the teen art show. And since we have our teen librarian here, I thought I'd let her brag about it instead of stealing her thunder.
Well, thank you.
So Alexa, if you would like to tell them about that, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so this year was the 10th annual Imagine That Teen Art Show. We had 97 pieces of art submitted and over 600 people in attendance, which I think is the statistics piece that Julie hinted at. We were so thrilled with that. It was an incredible event. We had the Rainforest Cafe donated over 500 of their volcano desserts, so people were well fed and really seemed to enjoy the event. The event, as always, was sponsored by the Friends, and not only was it monetarily sponsored, I had immense volunteering help from the Friends of the Library, so it really made a big difference, and the event could not happen without them. We also had some community sponsors that helped to donate some prizes, so that was really nice. And we had special judging this year. Mary, who's not here, was one of our judges, along with Corey Gott, who's a graphic designer in the area and actually designed the logo for the event. And then Leanna Hahn, who has Picasso's Grapevine downtown. And they awarded 4 special awards, which I think was kind of a special part of the night because it wasn't just that people had voted, but that they had really said, we're artists and these are the pieces that we were really impressed with. But they deliberated for hours. The art this year, if you haven't seen it, the winners are still in the showcase. And there was also a beautiful write-up in the Clarkston News. And Independent Television created an amazing promotional video that we just got today. So that's on our Facebook page as well. So it was a really great year for the art show. A lot of people came and really enjoyed it, and we were really happy with the outcome.
So do you think moving it to March was an improvement over having it after school was out in June?
We had more attendance and more pieces of art than we had in the last couple of years, but I think every year it sort of just depends on when you start promoting. We knew it was going to be March pretty early on, so that helped us to get out there and to be in the schools and to kind of talk about it more. So possibly, I think it was still pretty cold. The only thing is the week before the forecast said snow, and I was like, oh my gosh, if we snow out the art show, I'll cry. So that's always a piece to worry about, but I do think that it helped get more people in here who hadn't been to it before.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. That was a very busy director's report. Yes. And now, let's get to regular business. And the first item on regular business is our student group. So let's present that.
So, hello, I'm Nathan. I've been in team lead for as long as it's existed at the library, so 2 or 3 years. I don't know. Oh, it's been a while now. And it's been a really great program, and I'm really glad that I've been able to be a part of it because it's allowed me to be more involved in the library, which I've been involved in since I was a child, but being able to directly impact patrons of the library and impart my experiences and opinions as a teen to what the library was actually doing was really amazing. Also, it expanded my views about impacting the community and gave me volunteer opportunities at both the programs that I was planning and at other programs that the library was doing. One such program like that is the Clarkston Independence District Library's Ready to Code program, which I have been volunteering at the past 2 sessions. And it's been really amazing being able to teach children what I've learned with programming. And it's been, I've really enjoyed it based on just the ability to teach others and then also being able to impact the community.
Hello, I'm Caitlin, and I've also been in Team Lead as long as it's been around. And I would say one of the best things about it was being able to take a leadership position in planning the programs itself. Myself and someone who I believe is not in Team Lead anymore actually planned and led the foundation of the Teen Anime Club, which was really cool for me because I got to take a leadership role on a project that I still get to attend and see through, unlike our projects at school, which once you get turned in, they really are just left to collect dust.
Hi, I'm Parker. I'm a 9th grader, and I've been in Team Lead last year and this year. And one of the things that we do every month is we have Teen Tuesday, which is it's kind of like a club, but it's a different event each meeting. So 2 of the things that we've done is one of them is called the Weird Food Taste Test, where we had like a bracket of all sorts of different like weird flavors of food, you know, like weird like Oreos or whatever. And then we voted on them, and it was a lot of fun. I think there was a good attendance. I don't remember exactly how many people came, but it was a lot of fun. And then another thing that we did, another Teen Tuesday, was the improv session, which is where people from the Clarkston Village Players, a couple people came and they taught us how to do improv, and it was a lot of fun because I think a dozen people came, which I think is a good attendance, and we got to learn all about improv, and it was really fun. It was a great time. So that's what the Teen Tuesdays are about.
So my name is Addison, and I'm a junior at Clarkston High School, and I've been in Team Lead last year and this year. And one of the things that is upcoming for Team Lead is we're having a mental health conference. And it's been a really rough year for Clarkston, and it's been really hard. I know as a high schooler, it gets a lot worse, and then you struggle. And so we're having this conference in order to unite parents, friends, and people in order to talk about it. And it's actually called Taco About It, and we're having tacos there. So it's going to be a friendly event, open to the public, and we're hoping for a really good turnout, and I'm very excited for it.
My name is Jacob Levingood. This is my 2nd year of doing Team Lead, and I'd like to talk about the, now I'm forgetting words, that's nice. But no, the newsletter, the student-led newsletter that we're creating. I believe this is a partnership as well with the Optimist Club, if I'm correct. And we're going to be creating, we're creating a newsletter that is going to allow younger kids and older teens, everyone to put their writing in, write what they want to write about, and put that into a newsletter so they have a chance to publish what they've written, and they have a chance to put out there what they want to talk about. And I think that's a great opportunity for these kids in the community, because this provides a more local and more down-to-earth type of environment to publish what they've written and publish what they like, rather than some like big online forum or something like that. They can put it into the newsletter and they can see it. They can see its effect in the community around them. And so I think that's really cool. And I'm expecting that to be a big success. So.
Excellent. Thank you. Very nice. We've been very excited to hear.
Yes, I've been wanting to hear it. I've been asking about this for ages. I'm excited because it gives you guys an opportunity to see what we do, but I like getting the opportunity to see what you guys are doing too.
And to hear about it and see your faces behind it. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, so we want to thank you. Do you have any questions for us? Are you getting enough support, do you feel, in your activities? Because the board is the policy setter for the library, and the Friends are the fundraiser for the library, and they sponsor a lot of the activities of the library. So everyone has a role. You are speaking for a particular segment of the library. So all of these groups make the library what it is. So we're really pleased that you're so enthusiastic and have had such interesting projects.
Well, I think it's important because these are going to be the leaders. These are the people that'll be sitting up here
Right.
a few years from now, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
So if you have no questions, we want to thank you very much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you.
Very good.
So if you need to go, now is a good time to go before they start the next agenda item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys did great.
And yes, we like that.
I should bring in visitors more often.
Yes,
I love it. Okay, I'll do that.
sure, enthusiastic, yes. So let's move on to number 2, which is the approval of a closure day for staff training.
Each year, the library closes to the public for a day for the purpose of staff and service training. We've been coordinating with other neighboring libraries to select a day for some shared training that would allow for cost sharing of a presenter. Staff members of the libraries will meet in one location for a shared morning presenter, lunch together for networking, and then return to their own libraries for an afternoon of location-specific training. The libraries involved in this project are Addison, Brandon, Clarkston, and Holly. The morning session will take place at the Brandon Township Library, and the proposed date to close is Friday, October 5th, 2018. We already have an all-staff meeting scheduled for that day, so staff already anticipate that commitment, and there are no programs on that date, and there's ample time to let the public know. And then the funding is already budgeted into the workshop and conference budget to cover the cost of training.
Okay, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second. So we, Allison. Yeah. So we have a motion to approve library closure for Friday, October 5th, 2018 for the purpose of staff training day. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. On to the exciting purchase of a disc cleaner.
This one came to me on Friday, so this is part of the reason your packet was a little behind this time. We had some stuff that came in at the 11th hour, so this is a good deal though. One of the in-house services that the library provides is the cleaning and repair of the DVD and CD collection. This decreases the number of replacement items that we will have to purchase when they are returned with scratches and related damage. The library has purchased the Echo Auto Smart Disc Repair System in the past. I think this would actually be our third one. And it has served us well in our repairs for the many years we have owned it. The current one the library owns has become obsolete from the manufacturer and has begun failing mechanically. We've been looking at several products from other vendors, however the reviews of these other vendors have been poor. We also are familiar with the operation of the upgraded version of this item. It's basically the same thing. It's very simple to use. Elm USA is offering special discounted pricing of $57.80 through the end of April and $4.50 for the trade-in of our current machine. Shipping will be free for us to receive the new product and also to ship back the current one in trade. So the total cost of the new device will be $5,330. This is not a budgeted item. We actually were talking about putting it into the 2019 budget, anticipating we could squeak another year out of this one, and in the last month it's been really bad. So unfortunately,
Move that up.
we're moving that up. We're trying to plan ahead a little
About
bit.
how many years do we get out of one of these?
We've had that a long time, haven't we? Usually 5 or 6.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we take good care of them. As a matter of fact, this is actually from Bill and Annette, and they said that when they called the company and they asked for the serial number, the guy said, wow, that's a really old one. They don't usually last that long. So I think we really milked this one for every possible, we baby it and take good care of it. Yeah,
Good job.
so.
I move to approve the purchase of the Echo Auto Smart Disc Repair System.
at a cost of $5,330.
Second.
Okay, we'll do that first.
Right. I
All
think we have
those
to
in
do
favor,
separate.
please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, that motion is carried. Now we have to pay for it.
I move to approve a budget adjustment of $5,330 to line 980, equipment from undesignated revenue to pay for the device.
Okay? Second,
I'll second that.
Which one?
we have a tie. Ann's closer.
Yeah.
All right, Ann gets this
It's
one.
Ann's
Ann
turn.
gets the
It's
tie
Ann's
this time.
Okay, very good.
Okay, and we have a sizable amount of money still in our undesignated revenue.
We do.
All right, any questions or concerns or questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Number 4, approval of township safety bath bicycle way station.
All right, this is another one of those that kind of came in at the 11th hour. Independence Township has a millage to develop and install safety paths throughout the township. The DPW is currently working on a project to upgrade safety paths for bikers who wish to traverse between all of the wonderful parks located in the township. One of these upgrades includes installing way stations along the route. This would be a small concrete pad that includes a bench and a place to lean bicycles. The township has identified locations for these way stations and is approaching the property owners for permission. One selected location is the triangle of grass near the library's driveway entrance, and I have a picture in your packet for you to see exactly where we're talking about. The township is requesting permission to remove the grass, fill in the area with concrete, and install a bench and a bike rest. The bike rest will be a stylized shape of a bicycle with a rider. There will be no cost to the library, and there are no irrigation heads in that area to be disturbed by this project. I put the irrigation map in there as well. It didn't, yeah, it's a little small, but it's in there. So this is a no cost, it's just a permission sort of thing.
Well, actually, we have a perfect location.
It is perfect.
It's a good location.
Another
It's,
bench.
Yeah, and the bike rack will look sort of like a sculpture, so that's kind of cool.
Yep, and it is in a location that it's not going to change anything, it's not going to prevent us from doing anything that we might want to do in the future. It's that little triangle is just a little bit of a dead space anyway.
Right.
So I
we
think
won't have to mow it.
Yeah, we won't have to mow it, that's a good point. And we do tend to be a stop along the safety path anyway. People come here and we do have a bike rack if they want to come in and use the restroom and the drinking fountain. This would just be, I need to stop and
A quick stop.
just a quick stop.
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent idea, and I think we're well situated to provide this service to the community.
Absolutely.
I'll accept a motion.
I make a motion to approve a budget adjustment of 5,000. Is that the right?
No,
No,
it's the-
I'm sorry, I got the wrong one.
How about this one right here? This bottom line.
To approve the installation of the bicycle way station proposed by the township as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, Allison?
Allison?
I heard Allison first.
That's because Mickey and I are way
You're
down
way
there.
down there, under the solid ground. That's right.
That'll do it.
Any questions, or when do they plan to do this? Do we
They
know?
didn't really say, but I'm assuming over the course of the summer. He didn't have an exact date, but I would assume that they would want to do it.
When it gets warmer?
When it gets, yes, when it gets warmer, but he
Not
didn't.
tomorrow.
Not, no, unfortunately not. If they could plan the project and then have that affect the weather, that would be fantastic
Yes.
for them personally.
Doesn't work that way.
That's fantastic.
All right, are there any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion is carried.
Okay.
Number 5, review and approval of the Makerspace project.
Okay. We've been talking over the course of the past several months. The children's and teen departments have been working on a number of innovative projects, such as circulating maker kits, including Ozobots, Raspberry Pi, etc., and offering coding workshops. As an extension of that trend, the children's department would like to add a small hands-on makerspace workstation that would allow our young patrons to try out some of the technology gadgets while visiting the library. To do this, we propose adapting a shelving unit into a counter with stools, and if you, there's a map in here that kind of shows you what that looks like.
Everybody got this one?
Kind of shows you where it's located by the vending room. And there's a photo that shows this is the shelving unit that's already in that space that we would be using. This is actually a strategy we have successfully used to create work areas in our staff room. The cantilever shelving structure is strong enough to have a work surface added to it and also allows standard adjustable library shelving to be used for storage. So the next photo is actually one of our workstations where this is actually library shelving, and then this counter space that you can see has been actually attached to that cantilever shelving. These shelves are able to be moved, or you can add additional shelving at the bottom if you want to be able to store things at your feet. And then the nice thing is that there's an insert that goes down in between that metal framework that creates a little bit of a sound barrier. It absorbs the sound, I should say, so that it doesn't bounce off the wall and that, but it also allows you to hang things, so that you can put up, in this particular situation, instructions and
So they can adapt
they can-
this.
Yep, they can adapt
To
it
it as
to that.
flexibility.
Yep. As quoted, this space would include a two-person counter that is 66 inches high with 2 stools and be wired for power that is accessible on the countertop, all attached to an already installed steel framework. Fabric-covered bulletin board panels will be installed behind the counter to provide a colorful, cohesive look that allows posters and project instructions to be hung. And standard adjustable library shelving can be hung above and below the counter to provide convenient storage and additional space for project accessories. The total quoted price of this project is $5,489.
4,000.
I'm sorry, $4,589. Thank you for following along and catching this. I have 5,000 on the brain from the last thing. This is currently not a budgeted project. It is something that we've been talking about over the course of the last year when we started talking about the space planning of the business area and the computer lab and those kinds of things. And we determined it needed to be pushed further back, so.
And we have the space, and we have part of it already installed,
Yep,
so.
and these are the kinds of things we left at undesignated revenue when we wrote the 2018 budget, because we had so many projects we were working on, and we weren't sure when they were going to be aligned, so that we would have all the pieces and parts in place. And so that's why you're seeing some of these things. They weren't written into 2018 because we didn't know if we would have this all together and worked out now or later, so.
So it's moving along.
We've gotten a lot of ducks in a row recently.
I'll accept a motion.
I move that we approve the Makerspace Workstation project as presented and approve a budget adjustment of $4,600 to line 975 building from undesignated revenue.
And I'll second it. All right.
And I got you this time.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Makerspace Workstation project as presented and approve a budget adjustment of $4,600 into line 975 from undesignated revenue. Any questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Number 6, another project that's been underway.
This is the meeting of projects that have finally come together. When library lover Clarence Catello passed away in 1998, his family and friends donated funds to design and furnish the Catello reading alcove on the north side of the library, including stained glass windows and leather furniture. One of the items in this room is a well-loved leather chair. I've got a photo in there for you. When the chair was new, it had a weathered leather look, which unfortunately meant with the heavy use it receives in a public setting, it made it vulnerable. The chair's been showing significant wear, and we've made attempts to repair it, but the time has come for more significant action to address the damage. Because of the size of the chair and the complex nature of the design, quotes to reupholster the chair in leather were close to $6,000. A new leather chair would be in the $5,000 range. Taking into consideration the Catello family's affinity for restoration, a quote to reupholster the chair in a fabric appropriate for the heavy use of a chair that a chair receives in a public setting was requested. The estimate is $2,780. This would be an economic compromise to restore the chair in a way to ensure an extended life. Library design will provide a selection of fabrics that coordinate with the color palette of the library, as well as stay true to the style of the chair and its setting in the alcove. The requested budget for this project is $3,000 in case there are additional areas that are discovered to need padding replaced as the chair is being redone. So in this particular situation, I actually got the fabric samples today, and I had a couple people on staff assisting me looking at the fabric samples. The fabric that they are recommending has almost a suede look about it, but it is a commercial grade fabric. It does have the same Krypton protection that we just purchased on the chairs that we put in the adult seating area. So not only does it resist stains, but it also resists liquid. So if somebody were to spill something on it, that the water would bead, it wouldn't soak into the fabric. But I actually called to make sure today that the fabric that we were looking at was Krypton protected, because it didn't feel like it was, sometimes when you get those things, it doesn't have a leathery feel to it, it doesn't have a plasticky feel, you know what I mean? It feels like a nice upholstery fabric. It's very soft, it's very cushy. So I think the thing that's loved about this chair is that you just feel like you sink into it.
Yeah, I love that
And I
chair.
didn't want it to turn into something that wasn't like that. So I'm really excited about the fabrics I was a little worried, but I'm really excited about the fabrics they provided. And they always send the fabrics that are within the budget that's proposed, and then they send you the higher end fabrics, and we didn't like the higher end fabrics.
Oh, well, good.
So for us, I looked at it, I was like, I don't like any of those. I like this particular fabric that he had actually budgeted for. I think he knew which one I was probably gonna like, which is why he ordered it this way. But he sent some other ones that were a little bit fancier. My thought was they looked a little more feminine. One of them had a little bit of a gold thread in it, which made it I thought it looked a little blingy for that room.
Yeah, because that's more of a masculine
And it's a
household. It's a very den-like place.
It's a-
Yes.
Yep. So,
Country, relaxing sort of spot.
yeah, so it's the fabrics, the designer has done all of the color palette throughout our building, so she's very familiar. So I think when she put them in the box, because there were quite a few, the ones that she liked the best were on top. And the ones that we liked the best were on top too. We went through and we were like, oh, we like this one, we like that one, we like that one, and then we're like, nope, 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 nope. So I think it's going to be a good project. The poor little chair, I just feel so bad for it. So it's had a well-loved
It
life.
sounds like it's earned a new service.
Yes,
for it.
because
This
yes.
is about 20 years.
1998. And it is the chair and the ottoman. I didn't really make that clear. It's in the quote, but it's not clear in my description that is the chair and the
Oh,
ottoman.
that's a
will
good
both be-
price.
Yeah, it's a good price.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Big chair.
All right, I'll accept a motion.
I'll move to approve the project to reupholster the chair in the Contello alcove as presented and make a budget adjustment of $3,000 to line 975 from undesignated revenue to cover the cost.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the project to reupholster the chair in the Contello alcove as presented and make a budget adjustment of $3,000 to line 975 from undesignated revenue to cover that
Oh, and
cost.
just to clarify, I did talk to the Contello family and make sure they were okay with this, and they said do whatever we need to do. They were good with it.
That was very kind of you.
I meant to mention that. I called and made sure they were
Oh,
okay
good.
with that.
Oh, good.
And she said, no, it's totally fine. You do what you
Yes,
need
they're
to do.
good.
So I got the blessing from the family.
Okay.
I meant to add that in my notes and I forgot.
Okay, because that would have been a question we might have asked.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Okay. Now, number 7.
Okay. The library's been working hard to grow in 2 areas. Its involvement in the local community and its involvement in the library world at the regional, state, and national levels. The residents of the library service area are very community-minded, so creating a combined community relations volunteer coordinator position has served us very well. In recent months, this position has become even more connected with civic organizations and volunteer groups, allowing the library to become more engaged with the community, not only helping to improve our community, but also drawing additional people to assist with library projects. At the same time, the library board and library director would like the director to have more flexibility and to represent our library at regional, state, and national events. To this end, the community relations volunteer coordinator position has become even more important to grow both of these goals to move forward. So I've been getting a lot of assistance from her. In addition, Christina Bowers, the employee who has been our part-time community relations volunteer coordinator, has demonstrated an aptitude and drive to move the library forward locally. She's been instrumental in partnering with our business librarian to keep the library at top of mind with our residents, consistency in PR materials, and more recently assisting me to be in more than one place when it comes to representing the library at community gatherings. She's currently working on ways to streamline library volunteering and will start working with the Friends of the Library to recruit volunteers to make sure our charity arm remains viable and robust. She does all this with persistence, patience, and a smile. At one time, I thought that this position might be split in two, a community relations coordinator and a volunteer coordinator. But I believe that the dynamics of this community indicate that we would be better served with one full-time position, ensuring continuity of purpose. This is something that during staffing meetings, we've kind of talked about. We've put it out there. The library staff has come to, a couple department heads have come to me and said, you know, this would be really valuable for us if this position and the person who is in it would be full-time. We've tried really hard in terms of staffing and budgeting to keep below, you know, stay in that 50 to 65% range. So after we were able to save money in healthcare and looking at the way that we've been able to make those reductions last month, we talked at length about, we were at 59% with all the savings that we've got, it's gotten us down to 57%. Adding this position would take us up to a little over 58%. We would still be well below that 65% range that I know that we want to make sure that we're not pushing too hard. I know that this is a little bit unusual for me to be asking for it at this time of year, but I just feel like in this particular situation it would be really valuable. The other piece is that we've talked about it for quite some time. The person in this position has been receiving job offers regularly. So the other piece is I think that if we wait, because we had talked about maybe doing it in 2019, I think if we wait, we're going to lose her.
She's good.
And she's good. She's
Well,
very, very
and
good.
the other aspect, we talked about separating the volunteer from the community, but because she's outreaching in the community, I'd rather have her coordinating those people coming in to volunteer.
Yep, it's an unusual thing. I actually, I looked at what some of the neighboring libraries are doing. The Orion Township Library actually has a full-time full-time volunteer coordinator and a part-time community relations person. They're two separate people, and it's a person and more than a person and a half, because it's more than a half-time position. It's like a 2/3 position. I think it's like 30 hours a week or something like that. But I just feel like in our situation, we would lose that continuity because so much of what the civic organizations locally do has to do with volunteering. And a perfect example is Impact Weekend. Christina's been helping me with Impact Weekend. That was kind of my baby, sort of bringing our involvement, bringing in those Impact Weekend volunteers to help with the book sale and that sort of thing. Well, Christina kind of stepped in and said, well, let me help you with this because it's part of volunteer coordination and I feel like it's my role to do this. And she's really made herself sort of invaluable to that committee, and also has really boosted those particular organizations, volunteers, to want to help us because we're helping them. There's so much in-kind conversation going on. The other thing that's really nice about Impact Weekend is that some of the organizations that are part of Impact Weekend are faith-based. And this is a really wonderful way that we can engage with the faith-based community. And being a governmental entity, we want that separation of church and state, but this is a fantastic way for us to interface with the faith-based community without it being in a religious manner. So that's just an individual example of how she's really stepped up and shown how her involvement as a community relations person just lends itself to also dealing with volunteers directly.
So she deals with religious organizations and charitable organizations?
She's doing, yes, she would be doing, that was just one example of things that she's been doing. But she also works with the marketing director at the schools, working on school projects and things like that. We've been trying to kind of divvy up some of the outreach. I do as much of it as I can myself, and then, Trevor is working on all of the chamber work. Tracy works with the optimists, and so this is really helpful because then when I can't be in two places at the same time, the community relations person goes in my stead which frees me up to go to, like my thing in September, it frees me up to go to the DSLRT meetings and the TLM meetings and things like that, so. Okay, I know this is a big ask, and that's why I wanted to really talk about it and make sure everybody was comfortable with why I was asking for it at this particular time.
I will accept a motion to create the position first.
The proposal would be to eliminate the current part-time position and replace it, so I'm not asking for a percent and a half, I just want to make sure
Right,
that
Okay,
that's
I
clear.
found my place now.
Okay.
I move that we approve the replacement of the part-time community relations volunteer coordinator position with the full-time community relations volunteer coordinator position.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the replacement of a part-time community relations and volunteer coordinator with a full-time position doing the same job. Any questions or comments? I know this has been discussed for some time, so it's not a complete surprise.
And I did include in the packet how this position would grow. So the part-time description it goes over some of goes over the details of what she's doing now, but then she and I sat down and talked about how she wanted to grow the position, and in her evaluation, we talked about the things that she'd like to be able to do, and she basically said, if you need me to do all this, we need to split it because I'm just one person. So then when I rewrote the description to include all of those things, which could be handled by a full-time person.
And did everybody's read that? Did anyone have any
Do you have any
questions
questions
about it?
I don't want to rush anyone.
No, I think that, as long as it's not just adding more hours, I feel better about it if there's more development of the position, because it shouldn't be just about hours, it should be about that additional responsibility, so it looks like that's all been covered.
Okay. All right. All those in favor of enlarging the position, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Okay. Now, the second part of this is that we have someone already in the position. So I will accept a motion.
And the way I came to this particular salary, let me go over the budgeting and kind of where I got to this particular point. What I did was I left her wage exactly as it is now, which is why I have this funny number of $35,714, because that would be her current wage exactly as it is. It is within the appropriate range of what other libraries are paying for this type of a position for full-time. So it's within the range, but it's kind of in the middle of the range that we've
Identified.
Yep. And then in terms of budgeting, it is currently budgeted as a part-time position. So the amount budgeted for the remainder of the year would be $16,000, which could be moved to the full-time line. An additional $12,000 would be needed from undesignated revenue to cover the rest of the annual salary. $1,200 would be needed to be added to 718 for retirement contributions for the remainder of the year, and $750 to line 719 for HCSP, which is our healthcare savings program for retirement. Due to significant savings that occurred after the approval of the 2018 budget, which we discussed at the March meeting, the healthcare line is more than adequately funded to cover this additional employee. Our new healthcare plan is age-rated, so adjustments to reallocate any funds can be made after the employee fills out the paperwork, if that's what the board decides to do, and that would allow HAP to provide the premium amounts, giving us a better idea of how much is needed in that line going forward. So what I've requested is that we take it out of undesignated revenue, but then once I know exactly how much it's going to cost, I would take the money out of that extra money out of the healthcare line and put it back in the undesignated revenue so you can reallocate it to other things. So it's a little bit of a shuffle, but until we know specifically who's in the position and exactly how much those healthcare premiums are going to cost, and I can't estimate that now that we have this age-rated plan, because I have to know exactly which pieces of our plan she would sign up for, and whether or not it would just be her, or whether she has dependents that she would add in.
Have you discussed with her a start date?
She's really flexible at this point and just said whatever works for us. So I would just make sure that we pick something that's at the beginning of a pay period so it doesn't throw off payroll.
And she's ready to start.
At any
full-time
time,
at
yep,
any
at any time. And so I went ahead and calculated as if we would start sometime in May.
Okay, I'll accept the motion.
I move to appoint Christina Bowers to the full-time Community Relations Volunteer Coordinator position with a salary of, $35,714 and a start date that is mutually agreed upon to both parties.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we appoint Christina Bowers to the full-time Community Relations Volunteer Coordinator position with a salary of $35,714 and a mutually agreeable start date. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. So please convey this to Christine. We'll be delighted.
She'll be very excited. And like I said, I was
Wonderful.
the timing is important. I think we were going to lose her. She's had several local job offers that were spurred from the work she's doing here. So
She's been out in the community.
she's been out in the community, and we're going to lose her.
And somebody tried to steal her right out from underneath.
Yes, yes.
So therefore, we need a motion to do some moving
Yep, we do.
of materials.
So let me just go back over them one more time, make sure everybody understands. We would move 16,000 from line item 707 part-time to 706, which is full-time. 12,000 from undesignated revenue to 706, which is full-time. 1,200 from undesignated revenue to 718, which is MERS retirement, and 750 from undesignated revenue to 719, which is MERS HCSP. And then we'll worry about healthcare when we know a little more. The next item is going to have an effect on the healthcare as well, so.
I so moved to make the aforementioned budget adjustments.
As presented, I like that. Yes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we make these budget changes as presented. And I think that's been adequately explained. Any other questions? Not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion is carried. And item number 8. Whew.
This has been a big meeting. I'm sorry, I try not to let them pile up like this, but it just.
No, you're doing great. You're doing fine.
Okay,
Super.
so this one's a heartbreaker. I'm really sorry. It has come to our attention that our full-time youth and teen services librarian, the lovely young lady that was just here presenting to you about the art show, has accepted a school librarian position and will be leaving us in early June. The work that she has done with our youth and teen patrons this past year has been excellent, and the library's services in these areas are growing and evolving with the times. As we approach summer, the library's busiest time of the year, it is critical that we fill this position in a timely fashion. So I have put the posting in, and I'm asking for permission to post.
Yes, it is sad, but that is an upgrade for her.
It's very exciting for her. Her heart is to be a school librarian, and she got offered a school librarian position, and we're super excited for her. This is a bittersweet thing.
Yeah.
We're super excited for her. It's a school district where a friend of hers who is a mentor is retiring, and she's able to step in and take them.
Because those positions are
It's
rare.
a great opportunity for her, but oh my gosh.
A loss
really-
for us.
We really thought maybe we get to keep her a little
I know,
bit longer.
she's done wonderfully.
She's done wonderfully, yeah, so this is a tough one.
And I mean, her enthusiasm about the art show
Everything.
and
Her great
and working
coding
with these other,
project.
and working with these other teens
Yeah.
to put together their presentation tonight. You can see her enthusiasm all over the place.
And we've been very pleased to have her, so.
Yes.
But, you know,
All right, I'll accept a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Nope, not to adjourn yet.
Oh, I thought you were to adjourn.
No, we have to,
We have to post the
We have to post
position.
the-
We have to post the position. I
Yes.
can make a motion to post the position for the, is it the youth?
youth and teen
Youth and
librarian,
teen.
yeah.
Youth librarian.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to post the Youth and Teen Services Library position. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'd like to. Motion is approved.
Can't be holding people back.
Now.
Now.
You may make a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. And since Dan isn't here, Allison will second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
The meeting is adjourned at 6:57, right?